right, coming up, Dean Sharp is joining us for the Handel and the House Whisperer segment, and we're going to talk about the fire aftermath, all kinds of issues, insurance, cleanup, future protection, what you can do. People have to they have to remodel, they have to build, and we'll do that with Dean coming right up. Fun. All right. It's time for a House Whisperer segment. Dean Sharp and moi, brought to you by Sunlux, the official solar company of home on KFI. The best value in solar. Dial pound 250 and say Sunlux. Now, normally Dean would be sitting right across the desk from me. Unfortunately not, because Dean has to come in from Thousand Oaks. Is that correct, Dean?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
And you started coming in from Thousand Oaks this morning. You gave it the yeoman's try, and it didn't work very well, did it?
No, we got about a quarter of the way there, and it became painfully obvious that there was no chance I was going to get there on time. So I actually turned back, and here we are on the phone.
Okay, so there is the reason why Dean is not here. All right, now, obviously, whatever we were going to do changed completely because of the fire. So let's go through your expertise and start talking about what has to be done. And starting with claims, and then we'll go to cleanup, and then we'll go to what you can do to ameliorate the situation. If your house hasn't burned down, hopefully you can do something to help it not burn down. All right, let's start with the claims.
Claims, okay. So, obviously now that we're moving on to the backside of the fire situation, the main concern about people who have suffered loss is, what do we do now? What do we do to rebuild? Where do I go? And so obviously the very first move is calling your insurance company and getting the claim process underway. There are a few things, though, that I want people to know that they should know if they've never put in a major claim before. Number one, if you have a mortgage, which most of us do, your lender is going to be listed as what's called a loss payee, and the settlement checks from the insurance company are going to be written jointly, very likely jointly, to you and to your lender, which means you're not going to see that cash straight directly from the insurance company. The lender is then going to disperse those funds to you, usually in progress payments. And they do that to make sure that the house gets rebuilt properly because they have a stake in the property.
Yes.
Are you still there, Bill?
I'm there.
Okay.
I just took a sip of my Diet Coke, that's all.
So that's what's going on. Now, when it comes to claims, this is my one piece of advice for everybody. You need an advocate. You really do need an advocate in your corner. In fact, the larger the claim, the less that you should rely on the insurance company's assessments of the damage, because what little bits they're going to be doing in order to save themselves money are going to start really adding up in your overall situation. The last thing you want to find yourself in is a situation where you don't have enough money to rebuild the house properly to where you were before.
Now, a couple of questions about that, or a couple of comments. We talked about this, that's the public adjuster, which is the only agency or the only person that can work for you who knows the business, who can tell an insurance company, you are crazy, it's $1 more per square foot to replace that or this or the wall, etc. However, if a single home has been destroyed, that's easy. When you have 400 homes, when you have 7,000 homes, you're done. How do you even cope with that? How do you find a public adjuster other than getting one from the Canary Islands?
Well, here's the thing. In Southern California, it's not going to be that difficult of a thing to find a public adjuster here in the Southland. You may not find one in your city. Certainly all the public adjusters anywhere in or near Thousand Oaks are completely swamped right now. But the goal here is to get a public adjuster that's familiar with your region and what construction costs are like in your region. And so I don't really foresee there being a massive run on those. We've got under 500 houses destroyed in the Woolsey fire. And then there's other damages to nearby structures, but that is not, given the size of Southern California, not an overwhelming burden.
Got it.
Areas like Paradise.
Oh yeah, they're done.
rural towns to begin with, and 7,700 homes and structures destroyed. That's a tough thing. But let me emphasize this: if anybody's listening in that area as well, it's even more important when there is a mass casualty list of structures to avail yourself of a public adjuster, because now the insurance company is running short of adjusters themselves. They're going to be bringing adjusters in from other parts of the state or even out of state, and they're even less familiar with construction costs in our area.
Hey, a quick question about a public adjuster, which I've been saying this for the last week and a half. I'm a big fan of having an advocate who knows what's going on to be on your side, because anybody who's making a claim of size, that sizable a claim, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's going to be a fight with the insurance company, and there are pros at not paying you, and you're going to need a pro at being paid, which you are not. And that is certainly a public adjuster. However, they cost money. And does that paid out of pocket, or is the insurance, the check you get from the insurance company, does it cover that, or you just lose that money?
Okay, so first of all, number one, I'm very proud of you for getting on this and letting people know about public adjusters, because it really is the best thing that somebody can do, especially if they're facing a large claim. Number two, I just want to clarify, there are three kinds of adjusters out there. There are company adjusters. There's the ones that work for the insurance companies directly. But in situations where there's a big run on insurance, you're also going to hear the term independent adjuster thrown around. That's the tricky one. Some public adjusters refer to themselves as independent adjusters, but generally an independent adjuster is an additional outside adjuster brought in by the insurance company. So people just need to know, make sure the person that you're hiring works for you alone. But to get to the answer of your question, Bill, yeah, the public adjusters do charge a fee. Now, they could be anywhere between 8, 10, 15%, depending on the size of the job and the loss. And that is going to come out of your settlement. So in that sense, they kind of work like personal injury attorneys, in which you don't pay them up front. When your settlement from the insurance company arrives, the adjusters will take their fee out of that. But here's the good news. In general, getting a public adjuster involved in a large claim statistically can increase the size of the claim upwards of 40, 50, sometimes even 70 or 80%.
Oh, and that's...
So the 10% that you'll be paying out is well worth the money that you'll get in addition to what you would work with the insurance company alone.
But the bottom line is, let's say you have $300,000 worth of damage. Legitimate damage is going to cost $300,000 to fix, to bring up to where it was before. And that's all you're going to get from the insurance company. That $30,000, 10%, you just suck up?
Yeah, that's going to come out of your claim.
Wow. So it costs you. There's no way to break even on this stuff.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, though. You got to look at worst case scenario. What if you really have a realistic $300,000 rebuild? There's a very high chance that the insurance company, after depreciation and all of these other issues, and ticky-tacking about certain areas of the house and lowering your per square foot remuneration, you may only end up with a $220,000 claim reimbursement. Whereas with the adjuster, you get the whole $3,000 less their $30,000. So either way, it's my experience, you'll do better with a public adjuster.